Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, did you start?
I did, but we're going to go ahead and keep going, even though that we didn't realize we started. We're on 4.3 logarithms. Clearly, I'm doing this at home, and Ellie was helping me out a little bit, but we're on day 2 of logs, and this has to do with evaluating logs. And I want you to notice what it says here. It says, without a calculator. Okay, so this is going to be on the part of your test that does not allow a calculator or a graphing calculator. Okay, so you've got to know how to work these. So here's what we've got. When you have a log and it asks you to evaluate, first thing you do is set it equal to x. And then you take, I call it around the world, and there are other tricks that people use. But basically what this means is my base goes to that exponent and it equals this. So when I rewrite this, I rewrite it as 4 to the x equals 16. Then I want to rewrite these as having a common base. And what you ask yourself is, well, can I rewrite 16 as a base of 4? It's like, is there a 4 to a power that gives me 16? Well, 4 to the second gives you 16. Okay, so what I did is I found, you have to find a common base. Okay, then once you find a common base, if the bases are the same, then you can set the exponents equal to each other, and my x is 2. Okay, but you can't set your exponents equal to each other until you have a common base. So let's try the next one. I'm going to set it equal to x. I'm going to take 2 to the x equals 1/4. Let's think about this. I need a common base. So first thing I'm going to do is make this a base of 2. So this is 2x equals 1 over 2 to the second. But I don't like this fraction thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it up and make it a negative exponent. So if 2 to the x equals, this is the same thing as 2 to the negative 2. We'll move it up to the top. Then once I have my common base, I can set my exponents equal to each other, and I know that x equals negative 2. And remember, you can always, the good thing about the videos is you can always pause and rewind it until it makes sense to you. Okay, again, first set it equal to x. The base to the x equals the 4, so I'm going to take 16 to the x equals 4. All right. Now, when I'm looking for a common base, really 16, if I rewrite 16 as a base 4, that will work. So I can rewrite this as 4 to the second to the x equals 4. And power to a power means I multiply, so this is 4 to the 2x equals 4 to the first. So I'm going to set my exponents equal to each other. So I have 2x equals 1. Divide both sides by 2. And x equals 1/2. All right, next one. Set it equal to x. Take your base to the x equals the 1. So 9 to the x equals 1. What power can you put on anything that will make it equal 1? 0. So x is 0. Okay, so whenever it's equal to 1, you know your exponent is going to be 0. Okay. Next one, again, set it equal to x equal to that. So I have 1/4 to the x equals 64. And remember, whenever you have a fraction, you can make it not a fraction by turning your exponent into a negative. So I'm going to make this 4 to the negative 1 to the x. And I can rewrite 64 as a base 4, because 4 cubed is 64. And if you're looking at this going, how did you know that? Well, we're going to talk, you really should work on knowing or having written your bases, squares, and cubes of some of your basic numbers. And if you have a factor table, that kind of helps a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to multiply that. So I have 4 to the negative x equals 4 to the third. I'm going to set these equal to each other. So negative x equals 3, divide by negative 1, and x equals negative 3. Okay, last of these, set it equal to x. I'm going to take the base to the x equals 8. So 8 to the x equals 8. Well, what's the exponent on 8? Well, it's 1. I already have a common base, so I can just set those equal to each other. And x equals 1. Okay. And evaluate the calculator. This is literally putting stuff in the calculator. So the only two things you can put in the calculator are natural logs. That's the ln. That's not an in or a 1n. That's an ln. And it stands for natural log. Or a base 10 log. Okay, and if you don't see a number based on your log that you're assuming it's base 10, these are the only two ones you can just put in the calculator. So if I put log of 20 and hit enter, I'm going to get 1.30. And if I put the natural log, so to get my natural log, that's the ln button down here, the natural log of 80, and hit enter, that's 4.38. And we're going to use those in the next day or two. So you just need to know how to use those on your calculator. And that's all I have for day 2.